Phenomenal.
You can get it squeezing. You can get it pleasing. You can get it breaking your back. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Bic. A long cold Bic.
It's so hard to have a gay time on your own.
It could be that great chalk and biscuit coating.
So hard to have a gay time on your own.
It could.
I'm Danny, and I'm here to call out all you crack pack bitches. You think I don't see you there? I'm the OG of this shit. But you come after the king, you better come correct. I'm Danny, motherfucker. Who are you, crack pack? You smoke crack, you better watch your back.
I am a maverick. I am a savage. I am a legend. I am a madman. You never know what I'm going to do next. I am a mad lad.
Welcome, all you bogans and mad lads. Big show tonight. I hope you are ready. We've got the man, the myth, the what does he call himself now? Bro dog. The bro dog himself, Mr. Shane Davis, will be joining us very shortly. Bro dog. Yeah, no wonder his teammates wanted to mute him that whole time. I was there with him. The mange, the potato. Finally, all my bogans there, the super bogans can in reverence post all the potatoes they want. How are you all going, man? I don't stream for a day, and I just feel like I haven't streamed for ages. I don't know what's going on, but we've got a bunch of people here in the chat. Please do give it a like, share it out. We're just going to talk crowdfunding. We're going to talk Inglorious Rex. We're going to talk Inglorious Rex 2. We're going to talk whatever the hell is going on Shane's channel these days. and we will do that very shortly, but we must stand on ceremony and get this fine man Rand Nada up where he belongs. Let me just nudge this over here. And I will pop this in right here. How Rand Nada, first among all at the moment. I see Snarkticon here is joining us. Hang on, I'm skipping people already. Bretsky the Great, Voyager, Joe. There's Snarkticon. We must get the order correct. Dale A's in the house. Keeping an eye on the time. I see Crom. I see Jolly Green. I see Hyper Wizard. How you going, Dale? Dale is foretelling a depressing stream. It's not going to happen, Dale. We're going to have fun tonight. We're going to sell some comics, and we're have a good time. Christopher Johns here. Who else? Stephen Rockwood. Hail. Cisco Beast says, "Yo, I'm a member. Someone must have gifted you a membership. Hail the gifters. To all the gifters out there. Did I say hello to Jeremy Burtz yet? I need to if I haven't. Grey Wolf is here. Enrique. Everyone's saying the bro dogs. It's funny. Snuggy's here. Athaline. All right, I gotta get some of these Bogan chats before they all disappear. I apologize. Just one sec. Eric the Guapo says, Bancroft, you have something on your shirt. Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's my favorite shirt. All my comic book shirts, all my CG comic book shirts are my favorite shirts. Stephen Rockwood says, potato power, bro dog. I can't do it like Shane. I don't have the stamina. And Grey Wolf shattered, but you know who I'm looking for. Oh, I see this man here, Sumo Thori Hale. You know who I'm looking for. It's this man right here, Mr. Mo Biggs, Hale Mo Biggs. When I see Mo in the chat, it's time for me to send the link to the man himself. Let us pass on that link. All right, he's got it. I promised him the link 5 minutes after it went live, and it was 5 minutes and 20 seconds. That's pretty good considering we've got 76 people here in the chat. How you going, Nolan? Muromi? Who else we got in here? Who else? All right, let me scroll down. I can't say hello to everyone. I apologize. I will say hello to Felix Huss, the link master, though. In there, dropping links like nobody's business. Love to see it. Did I say hi to Snuggy yet? Oh, I'm very forgetful. Snuggy, your campaign's going great. He's nearly up to 100. 100 backers over there on the Bookmarks campaign, which is nuts, but it's great. Hang on here. John says, hey, you got a member chat, Bancroft. Make sure you read that. So I go up and I look, and it says gay and gay. Thank you, Lord Ravener, for that super chat. And John points out Bookmarks for the win. All right. He's here. He's joined us. Shane, how you going, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. It's been foretold that you'll come on here all down and depressed, but I promise that's not going to happen. We're going to have fun tonight.
How are we?
We're going to talk comics. We're going to talk crowdfunding. I finished Inglorious Rex, so I'm ready to talk Inglorious Rex 2 with you. Unfortunately, I didn't get to the supplemental yet. I apologize, but
yeah,
I've just been so busy of late.
Well, they're kind of side stories, anyways. But
I flicked through it. They look like they were like prequels.
But yeah, one especially with Anatomic, but because the prequel to her is it's basically showing her like as a kind of a street rat in Arc City, having to fight to try to get her dad's money for medication. And illegal, well, kind of like alleyway street fights, like, and then eventually, you know, that story is weird because it's it introduces like you know, Alex and Nate and Ronnie, the dad, as like the, you know, as they're trying to get her into a real like fighting shape, like not just illegal street fights, but actually professionally fight. So
you got lots of people in here complimenting you on the first book there, Shane. And I must agree with them. It's a damn great book all around. I've got it pulled out here. I got a few copies. I pulled out the Malin cover to read. I hope that doesn't upset you.
No.
Yeah, man, great fight book. Like, honestly, I know nothing about fighting. My daughter does jiu-jitsu, but other than that, I mean, I know nothing. So you could have put anything in here. I would have liked it anyway. It would have been fine. But no, I love a Rocky story, that sort of thing. And you've obviously got a whole another kind of element going on.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, how would you, the way I described the first book is it's like there's a bigger concept I've been hiding in the book that,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's really got me intrigued. That's the, like, as I was reading, and you did sort of set up, oh, this is a fight book set in a futuristic thing with big monsters. All right. But then you're like, hang on, what? They're defending the city? And then, you know, we're not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read it, but great, really good book, man. I'm super impressed. I mean, the art, obviously, I'm like,
well, so this is how the fighting gets included in that. There's a simple answer to that, and that's called Fight Camp. Like Fight Camp for an average boxer, like, you know, if you're like, hey, Mike Tyson's had this many fights, and over time boxers get hit in the head and they start, you know, deteriorating or talking weird, or they have head injuries or whatever, right? So fighters can only usually fight so much. You're like, well, that's not a lot of fights. That's it's like only 24 maybe or whatever. But what you're not accounting for is all the sparring. And usually a fight camp for a fighter is anywhere between 8 weeks to 6 weeks. And that's intense training. Now, they don't just start boxing 8 weeks before a fight. They've usually been boxing all the time. But that's when they're sparring a lot. And usually before a fight, usually fighters taper off. What that has to do with Inglorious Rex is, like, you know, these Rexes are there to defend the city. They can't just sit around and get fat. and get lethargic. Like they have to stay active, and that's the whole Rex fighting, angle of the book. So once I started thinking about like, because I like giant robots, like things like giant robots saving the city. But it's always bothered me. It's like, how much money would it take to build a giant robot? Like, how much maintenance when they get in fights? It's like they got to get dinged up. This robot's punching a monster's fist is probably going to like break or something like that. Like that stuff never, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, because, there's the resources, there's the time and energy to build these things. And it's like, well, wouldn't it just be cheaper if you built something that had an immune system? Something that could just repair itself or grow stronger, So, and then that's how I started coming up with the concept for Rex fighting, or Rexes in general.
I mean, I dig the world, the way it's presented, the way it's drawn. The characters are all, you've managed to make them very different. I mean, little T, obviously, Anna, and they're all really different. It's really rich. Story. We will get into it shortly. I have some super chats here I've got to get to because they're for you. People come in here, they super chat for you. Everyone is in a tizzy of late, and you know why? It's because the bro dogs reporting for duty, sir. Fight to live, live to fight. It's been an interesting couple of days since the bro dog first hit the scene, and people are loving it. Thank you, Nolan. As well, Sumo Thori, just bro. You have to say. I can't say it like you say it. I don't know how to.
All right, hang on. I got candy in my mouth. Just reading our super chat, and I'll do it.
All right. Another one here is hang on, scrolling down. Snuggy Jr. When does Rex meet Barnaby for 5? Thank you, Snuggy.
There is a Barnaby cameo in the book.
Is there? Did I miss that?
Somebody, no, well, there's a lady holding a sign that says "I met Barnaby." That's it.
Really? I'm gonna go flick back.
Yeah, she's in the crowd. Right. It's like I can point it out to you if you don't want to find it. Somebody found it right away, like too, and they posted it online. So
is it start? Is it at the? Where is it? Is it during the fight?
Yeah, it's in the crowd. It's like right here behind. And look, it's right here behind Anatomic, right there.
Yeah. I didn't get out my binoculars to read the comic yet, but all right, this one's for you.
All right, bro dogs. Okay, bro dogs. I mean, that's it. And I would see it at my teammates, and they would put me on mute.
Why did you do that? Was that because you wanted them to put you on mute?
No, I just thought it was funny. I don't know. I was like, "Come on, bro dogs, let's run up on this crew." And it just bro dogs. I don't know. I was just playing and having fun.
Is that the first time you played that game?
In a long ass time. Yeah, no, it is.
You seem to die a lot. You seem to just run out into the line of fire a lot. I don't know. I don't play these games, so I don't know how.
Okay, so normally if you're mic'd up with people, like let me tell you, it's a little bit more organized. So you're calling out, you're marking enemies, you're calling them out,
killing your own teammates. Probably.
Yeah, you usually don't do that, or they won't play with you again.
Oh, I accidentally gatekept one of Mo's facts. I apologize, Mo. There's a lot of people chatting here in the Mo. Please, they've got over 100 people in here. Please do like the stream. Share it out. What is Mo saying? Bancroft considers himself the immune system of Australia. He's convinced it's his mission to destroy what he calls the Black Plague. That's not true, Mo. Was that because I spoke about Little T? Lord Raven asks, how do Rexes ascend? Does it happen automatically when they win? Are there new powers chosen, or do they manifest randomly?
They evolve. So what it is like a big part of like kickboxing is shin conditioning, which is a combination of muscle tissue strengthening on your shins and micro fractures that cause your leg to actually become stronger with time. There's no easy way to get there. You just have to, whack a bag a million times over years. And eventually, you have really, if you ever see those kickboxers where their legs snap when they go to a leg check,
I try not to.
Well, yeah,
I've seen it, but I try not to.
Yeah, that's a lack of shin conditioning, a little bit. But I mean, it really is one force hitting another, and you definitely won't conditioned shin. So, but, you know, the concept of Rex evolution is really simple. Like the more they fight, eventually they become stronger, and this is again why they compete and fight. They can't just choose to evolve; it just happens over time and progression in fighting. So, and that has a lot to do with the cloning stuff and Little T, and why there's even Rex fighting to begin with, is to get these things stronger. And you know, the more they fight, eventually, you know, that they can become just bigger in mass, more physical. They can become I don't know what else.
Because Rune was massive.
Yeah.
Compared to
Everybody,
232, like huge.
Yeah, and well, this one of the supplemental stories. It doesn't look like it, the one that Shelby Robertson drew, but it's actually more about Little T and Rune, and how Little T just kind of engineered him and put him on the scene. Like he kind of had a cheat code to get up to 232. Like Shelby's story follows like Mace the kid. He wants Marcer. He wants to be called the Mace. With his Rex, and he's on his path. He's an up and coming fighter. He's all a heart, and he's on his path to get toe to toe with 232. And the citizens of Arc City are starting to like him. And then all of a sudden, Little T's like, "Well, I'll let you fight 232, but you first have to fight my brand spanking new Rex, which was Rune." And the reason Little T does that, and you'll find out in the story. I mean, as you can see, and you read the main book, is like he just wanted to inject Rune into, you know, the Rex fighting league, you know, artificially. Like he just came out of nowhere as a beast, you know. So Rune's kind of a little bit of a cheat, like I think, like and I kind of built the character to be that. A lot of it has to do with Nate. Like people who've read the book probably will, like, you know, when they say it's questionable whether it was an illegal blow or not, you know, or it was an accident or not, you know, when he killed Nate, you know, when he hit the cockpit on the back, you really, with that supplemental story and seeing Little T, you have to start wondering, was it a hit job on Nate? And why would you even go, you know? Yeah. And then you would have to say, well, why would Little T want to get rid of Nate? Like, there's a lot of questions. I'm gonna go into all this in book 2 and 3.
Nice. People are talking about Van Damme. So that's how I know. That's what I know about kickboxing, essentially. Eric Winberg for 2 says broad hogs.
Broad hogs. Yeah.
Oh, bro, right. I get you. Like, I didn't. Nolan said he was winning too much. Yeah, he had like 67 straight wins or something.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not that. Like, there's a bigger plot that I'm hiding. So the thing with Nate, a lot of people are like, well, I didn't get enough information about Nate and whatnot. Even though in the supplemental story that Nerium from Bonds drew, you actually have a whole scene with Nate in that book with Nate and Alex, and because he's kind of coaching Alex. A lot of Nate's always going to be handled like as a flashback. But as you read the book, there's questions like, you know, with 232 and Alex, like what's going on with 232? How did, like, when 232 speaks, and I mean, it's not discussed yet in the book, but that's actually a big issue I'm drawing now, where Lil T's like, Rexes don't speak. Why did he talk?
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah, I thought that was going to be the way it was done. I thought that would be something important. And I liked how you put the flashback in the middle of the, like, you know, he's like totally
when he gets knocked out. Yeah, when he gets knocked out. So the question is, and I'm not going to answer this, and people won't know until like book 2 or 3, but whose memory was that? Was that Nate's memory or was that Alex's memory?
Oh yeah. I didn't even think that. I just assumed it was Alex's memory.
Well, it's of course they were both there, but like, that's the real question, and that's a big part of the mystery with 232 and Nate. But the idea is, like, all the Rexes are basically, for people who are like, what are you talking about? Rexes are cloned from fighters. You know, they pick fighters that way they can actually, you know, they have some sort of hand-to-hand combat skill. and they genetically clone these giant monsters that they hitch the pilots, the fighters' neural system with through a lace suit. They literally lace up their neural system, and they fight in a regulation league. So when the city's up under attack, these things are in tip-top fighting shape to go out and protect the city. And if you're like, from what? Well, you'll see in book 2. The world of Rex fighting, it's I like all the characters, especially when you get into characters like Little T. They're a lot of fun because they're kind of the type of villain where, and I've always liked these villains. I kind of want to say like Riddler or Joker, where they're not physical threats, but they're very manipulative, and they kind of manipulate the world around the hero in a way. And it's kind of like a stand-in for the man, the guy that's always suppressing the common man type bad guy, like the Lex Luthor or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but I think Lil T is a step better in a way that he's a midget.
Why is that a step better? Oh, because he's like so diminutive.
Because he's a step down.
Okay, I get you. he's literally a step down.
Hang on, Mike. I got you. Sorry, you didn't catch it. It went right over your head. I'll throw those jokes a little lower next time.
Yeah, this is a highbrow show here, Shane. Highbrow.
It's a high eyebrow book.
On the, it is. It really is. I wanted to chat to you because you have this great website here, ingloriousrex.com, where you kind of listing out. Actually, I think you can. Oh, that's cool. I didn't look through it. You can buy the book directly from you, so you don't have to wait. Like, I see all these guys in the chat here saying, I haven't read it yet. It's been out a while, and also we're not really giving away everything that happens. This is just a very sort of broad outline, but I like that. You can grab it, so you don't have to wait until the second book is finished. I like that. I'm doing something similar myself. But this is cool. And obviously, you can go through to the campaign here, which is live, sitting at 1,463 backers, which is incredible.
I want to thank you guys. We are punching forward in these trying times. I really want to thank you guys for all the support in this campaign. We were coming up on our we actually shorted the campaign a couple of days because we were going to end on New Year's Eve. Like, it was a really bad day. Like, it just landed on the calendar. So we actually took a couple of days off through Indiegogo. So if you saw a weird update, they actually asked us to do that to get it to land on this date. So there's 20 days left, and then the campaign's over. That's it.
Mo says people assume it's lowbrow just because of how much real estate there is above Bancroft's eyebrows. Now you calm down there, Mo Biggs. Now, speaking of Indiegogo, you have obviously very famously now had your campaign shadow banned. Why do you think? What do you think the reason is? Do you think it's because you promoted your other campaign through it or something like that? Do you think it's some sort of targeted thing? I don't know, do you have an opinion on that?
All right, so my opinion changes every day as I see more books kind of facing a similar situation. So, I mean, obviously I read the terms of service, but I noticed right before I launched, the terms of service changed radically. Like, or it was different. And I went through it, and there's some things that seem like they would apply to not us, like, meaning like if I'm doing a sequel, I should tell people from campaign 1, here's sequel number 2.
It would seem like crazy not to, really.
Now, if you're a tech company, so here's the weird thing. Some of these things are kind of clear and kind of not. That one part, really, I did not see that when I went through the terms of service. I was actually looking for content terms of service stuff, meaning like violence, sex, things like that.
That's what we thought it was at first.
Well, I'm used to dealing with the comics code at Marvel and DC, or at least Marvel and DC operating off what used to be the comics code. Like, I had done some comics when the American comics code still existed, and then I dealt with Marvel and DC when they got rid of it, and they were like, we're just regulating ourselves. And I'm very familiar with how to handle gore in comics to get it to be safe. Usually, like, if, like, there's blood like if you look at 232, they're getting punched from that Dale Keown cover. That's a good example. That you could say, is that blood? No, it's grape juice coming out of his mouth. You know, it's not red.
It's
Yeah.
purple.
Yeah, right. So the way rating systems work in everything is it's the amount of blood, meaning red. Like, you know, like if the Predator was running around a movie with yellow blood, that doesn't count. So these are facts. That's how the rating systems work when it goes to PG, rated R. You know, I think Kill Bill famously, you know, they had that fight scene where all of a sudden there at the end where she's fighting the crazy 88 or whatever the hell it was. It switches to black and white for a scene, and that was to keep it a certain rating. Not because it was artistic. I mean, it was a little bit of both, but literally there was too much blood in the film for the rating they were shooting for, so he had to switch to black and white. So I'm very cautious of that. There's no nudity here. There's the violence. You could say, hey, she's knocking a grape juice cup out of his mouth. I don't know. Like, so I thought I was covered on all that, and I watched all that. I don't.
And they told you that it would appear in the
Yeah, I was told it would show up when I launched.
Yeah.
And
you've covered up these completely already cut. You've done a double cut. You've double masked.
I did that after. And again, she's a reptile. There's no boobs there. I mean, like
What?
it's like
Oh, she
armor.
is too. Oh my god.
I mean, she's like, it's not, there's no nipples. There's no, that's just, you know, I mean, and to be honest, I mean, maybe that's a superhero like bra on her. I mean, there's no, I mean, if I drew like Jean Grey, her tits would look the same, you know,
Yeah.
like it's
I just have to, before we go on, I have to give a massive shout out to Crom, who's gifted 10 friggin' memberships. Hail Crom, you bloody legend. That is
you know,
huge. So thank you. That is incredibly generous.
You little ripper! Thanks, lads.
Wow. Love to see that. Yeah, totally. So, and also, well, after that happened, I think Yancey went ahead and made this thing, which is comicsgreats.com, which is sort of, it's a place to kind of aggregate campaigns, essentially.
Right,
Is that
right.
how you would describe it? Yeah.
This was her project, not mine. She just did it. She got the domain name and she just said, I'll just do it to, try to help with this happening to campaigns. And at first it was only a handful of us, and more this happened to campaigns, more you see people just adding up. Now
it got up to 18 before I stopped counting, and I don't know if more have been added to that list. I hear here and there that some have, but I've honestly just been too busy with other stuff to really be keeping track of it lately. But
yeah, it's a shorter list, I think, to count who's not. And to be honest, we don't really have an answer about it. Like, nobody has a clear definition of what's happening here. People have inquired, numerous people, and I mean, for us, it's obviously troublesome because our campaign was a day one issue.
Yep.
Other people, I think it came on like under second 30 and stuff. And to be honest, I'm hoping like eventually we get an answer, but at the same time, I'm not.
I don't think we're going to. I don't think we're going to, because I think that would open them up to legal repercussions, and also just sort of like getting blasted on social media, bad PR. I think they're just going to just ignore it, and people are still testing. There was one guy the other day who sent me a email exchange where they were responded within, I think, 6 hours or something. And they were like, oh, yeah, we're very happy to help you. We apologize for making you wait for 6 hours. Whatever you want, just let us know. Ask away. So he asks, and then, I think they got another response straight away. And then he went for the thing. It's like, why are all these campaigns getting shadow banned? And it's just nothing. So I think they've been instructed not to say anything about it, which makes me believe more and more that it is some sort of, like, they've got some reason why. And I still haven't found any campaign that isn't CG associated. That's been shadow banned in this way. Do you have any plans to move elsewhere? I know Yanzi is working on a potential, your own site or something like that to crowdfund on. But I don't know.
It'll probably. I don't know when we'll launch. And again, we have plans and we're working on it, but we're testing it right now.
Yeah.
But first, I mean, right now, like foremost, it's important that people fund me, like because I'm getting the funds from this campaign, and these funds go to hire other artists, and we produce the book. We print on high quality paper. We do perfect bound, with our books, and because of that, I'm not going for. I mean, I'm not going the cheap route. We do need the funds to produce the book. So first and foremost, if there's something you want, this campaign could possibly be down in 20 days. And please, back the campaign because you are backing me. You are not, this isn't an Indiegogo thing. You are backing me. With that said, I feel like for me, I'm not really prepared to talk about this, but so bear with me a second. For me, I realize I've had a lot of support from people in the chat from Comicscape. I feel like in a lot of ways you guys have kind of been a big part of me and Yanzi's life, a part of our family. And I would be not responsible to the people who invested in my books if I didn't spend money and take it upon myself to make sure I'm uncountable.
Mm-hmm.
And that has nothing to do with Indiegogo. Exactly. We had our domain names for a long time. The site where you showed before is just part of that site. So I can share my screen and I kind of can look around at this. Let me make sure I see StreamYard. Did I share a tab?
Well, while you're sorting that out, let me just grab this super chat here from Tungsten. Man, CG never sleeps. Was away for a while. So many things happen. Luckily, I did not miss this. Just back again. Roquefort and Strakowski 2-pack. Cheers. Hail Tungsten. Yeah, there's some freaking great covers. We're going to get to them in a second.
So this is what we're testing right now. And, what I intend to launch. And as you can see, this is our site. I'm just sharing screen. So,
that looks way more advanced than what I'm planning on. But that's what Yanzi said. I'm just basically going to put a ticker thing on my online shop. This looks like an actual full-on.
No, it is. It is.
It goes like replicator.
No, it's obviously we have the technology and we have access to a private server, and we have access to the ability to take credit card payments from previous business that we've been doing for 7 years.
Looks really good, man. This looks really good.
So basically, at one point in time, this will be there. And what this is going to do, at least for us, is first off, our account manager has already invested money in this. So this will come to the top of Google. So I will reappear on Google, despite any efforts to knock me from Google. If that's the case, maybe it's an accident, Indiegogo, I don't know. But my first priority is to get back on the Google search engine. And the site will do that. Like it'll probably get there in a day, maybe two, whatever. But there's her the business, her account manager that helps with search engines is already working on this. And basically, it's pretty much like Indiegogo in a way.
Man, looks freaking awesome. God bless our wives, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, she built the site, she's been working on it since like day 2 of our campaign, so we're almost there. How I'm going to handle it, I don't know, because ideally, the plugins that we're waiting on right now is going to total the numbers from Indiegogo. So the way our site's going to work is it's going to have whatever Inglorious Rex is sold, and then whatever people buy from this added onto it, and it's
pulls
always
it in together. Yeah, so it doesn't look like it's just starting from scratch again. That's a great idea if you can pull that off.
But it's very complicated. That's right. So and right now we're just testing the site with all the add-ons. The good part about my site, as far as us as a user, is I'm able, because it's my site, I can just list tiers in whatever order I want. Indiegogo wants to list them as the price, and you don't really have control. That's why you'll see sometimes people adjust their prices or discount an item just to get them to list right. The other thing that's good for the users versus Indiegogo will be, you guys will be able to go in and modify an order. You will be able to go in and add to an already existing order and recalculate shipping.
That's fantastic. And also as well, you can probably do, I mean, I don't know if you will, but I know that, you can offer sort of payment plan sort of stuff that they do now on websites if you want to buy those bigger tiers.
I could do that like as a payment. I don't like those things as a customer because usually like the initial fee is non-refundable. If you'll notice, whenever people do that, they're like the first payment's non-refundable and you guys can make payments. I just don't like the idea of that as a customer. I've never liked the optics of that. As a guy producing this stuff though, it makes sense because I need to take the money and start producing like the minifigure or something like that. Actually have to get those things produced, and then if you back out, then I've already spent my I've spent money.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
man, this looks really, really. I'm really impressed. Well done, Yanzi. That's like way above and beyond anything I've come up with.
So you'll. I mean, there are little things we're working on though. Like this bar was going off the screen when we added a plugin, so we had to get that fixed.
Turning it up to 11.
Yeah, well, no, it was just literally going off. Like it was just like.
And then you could say, Inglorious Rex is going off the charts. I mean, fight hard. But
a lot of it, every little part we add, it tinkers with some optics, so that's part of our problem right now. But as you can see, it's really almost compatible, if not better, than what Indiegogo can produce. So I'm still probably, because I understand people have like Indiegogo accounts and they like being logged in and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm gonna still like offer stuff there, but I'm not gonna. I mean, I'll be honest. If I'm gonna make my own books and stuff, they're gonna appear in Google. I'm not. And that's just me. I don't think I can just sit back and that's how I feel. And I think that's just me trying to take care of. I mean. The way I see it is a lot of people have invested in my IP, my property, my books, the concept of me making my own books. And we've spent money on this site. It wasn't cheap. Yanzi spent a lot of time working on it too, unpaid. So, I mean, I feel like this is the least we could do for our backers. In a way, again, like backing me on Indiegogo is the same as backing me here. I'm just, I hate, this is a lot of work to end up back on Google. I'll be honest. It's a lot of work, but I feel like if, doing other books for me, I'll always be able to run them through this site. And this will not be a problem ever again on anything I crowdfund. So that's
friggin' way above what I expected you to be able to show tonight. So I'm friggin', this is lighting a fire. Like I'm trying to go the sort of more simple route.
Here's the thing: I'm not going to be canceled. I'm not. I mean, I came to comics.
I need to finish your video. I need to finish your cartoon, Shane, because it's all about cancel culture.
No, but I'm not going to be canceled. Like that's the thing. And the easiest way to not be canceled is to be uncancelable. Like nobody's going to be able to pull this off of Google search engines. Like nobody. Like you can't pull this down. You can't hide it. You can't shadow ban it. I can put up. I'm my terms of service. Mm-hmm. I'm my trust and safety. People trust and know that I'll deliver a book. I'm the trust and safety. I'm just, if I'm going to be independent, I'm going to have an independent route. Now I'll still put stuff up for people that have Indiegogo accounts, but I'm taking it upon myself to secure that the investment people put in Inglorious Rex and Starlight Cats and stuff like that I can continue on with it. And that's what I'm doing with this site. And, that's just the stance. I mean, I know Eric July did it. I'm not a big channel like Eric July and stuff, but I do feel like I'm, embedded in this crowdfunding community. And backing me on Indiegogo, please do it right now. Like, it's going to help us financially either way. Like, it really isn't going to matter whether you back here or there. So, I'm not anti Indiegogo, but I'm definitely not going to let somebody take me off of Google.
Especially when I think it's probably some intern working at Indiegogo. That's just my speculation.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're damn right. I mean, and that's why I titled like this stream. You're like, this is going to be a fight going forward for us to, just like you said, like be on Google, not get cancelled. So I mean, what you're doing is friggin' awesome here. I just got to grab some super chats here. Son of Liberty Radio for 2. Who would win in a Rex 232 versus Pit fight? I mean, 232 is like 20 times his size, but I don't know. What do you think, Shane?
Yeah, no, 232 would win with a kinetic punch. That's another thing too for people who've read Inglorious Rex is like in the fighting league they can only do kinetic charges or kinetic punches or whatever. Like whenever they're in the last round, if they make it to the last round, that's when they're like one punch will decide the rest of this, and they unlock the aggression protocol and they can move forward. When they go outside the city and the Rexes are released to defend the city, and these things will start fighting one another. They'll team up, but then when somebody's back is turned, if like Anatomic can take out 232, then she won the fight just by a cheap shot. So it's a really weird concept. A lot of fun, and their kinetic charges, their punches, all of that stuff, they can do them as soon as they charge one up. So like the dynamic of the fighting and action in Inglorious Rex 2 is going to be completely different in that sense. If 232 has like a charge built up and he wants to use it, he can use it. If he misses, then he has to wait and build up another one. Whereas like she maybe has one and she lands it. So it's going to be more interesting power set type thing. I kind of like the idea of like Spider-Man when he was always running out of web shooters and stuff, or running out of web cartridges. I like that concept. And it really only Spider-Man had that, where he had like
the run out.
Yeah.
Astro Boy would always run out of batteries. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pete Callan for 690 says, bro dogs. That's pretty much like, you want to know what Shane's gaming stream was like. It was pretty much that for about 2.5 hours, but it was a hell of a lot of fun. Thank you for the super chat, Pete Callan. I think I've got a couple more here I just want to get to before we dive into the book.
Yeah.
Waylon Todd for 5. Respect thou. Got Inglorious Rex and Starlight Cats and shirt. It turned up perfect. Shipping was great too. Can I just say the quality of the books themselves, actually everything in the campaign was A+. So it's another big tick on that. You got to be happy with all that.
Yeah.
And is there another one? I think we are all caught up. All right. I want to play the Kick-Ass trailer, and then we're just going to dive right into this.
Guess who stepped on the scene? I got greatness all in my jeans. Ain't no way that I can slow down. I'm laced up, look how I shake the ground. Can't touch the crown, but you can kiss the ring. Close your eyes and see how I live a dream. I'm too smooth, MJ with the lean. Don't be fooled, I came through with the team. This is over their heads, how high can it go? I'm too over the edge, got my eyes on the goal. And we right back at it, keep them right on their toes. Look at the way that I move, this is all that I know. Cause I got the drive, I put it in gear. Line them up, I don't see no competitors here. If it ain't first place, we really can't settle for it. Listen up, listen up. Get ready for it.
Oh, now, having read the first one, now this is like there's a whole new meaning to all this. There's some serious hype going on here. I think you've done really incredibly well with this book and this story here.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like I treated Alex kind of like Neo from the Matrix type character, where I really wanted him to kind of be introduced as a clean slate for the reader to see the world through. Like you never really know much about Neo's past life at all. Like besides he had a boring job and paid his taxes, like you really don't know anything about him. And that I don't know if there's a writing term for that type of character, but I'm sure it's a certain type of archetype for just for the reader to feel that character and see
the blank slate. I think that covers it.
So even though there's a lot of story there between Alex and stuff, I really didn't want to introduce that till later on in the book, because I really wanted people to understand the basis of Rex fighting that, and that's why I started off with just a basic fight with Alex, is because people understand that. And then from there, I think I introduced the sex scene kind of between him and Anatomic. People understand fighting, death, sex. They understand these things. And then from there, you actually see like, oh, shit, Rex fighting. What is this? And then from, there, it goes into just him, the complications of him being able to lace up with 232. And that was, and then the whole stuff about his brother and all this stuff kind of comes into play. And that's the bigger journey that we're going to go through in like 2 and 3, and again,
are you planning like a 3-book arc, or and then it's done, or are you just kind of playing it by ear? It sounds like you've got 3 written.
Well, it's weird. There's specific things, like I have a whole Bible for Inglorious Rex kind of written out. Then that's everything to do with Nate and what happened to Nate and why things happened to Nate. To going back to like how the world ended, how Arc City ended up where it is. What are the things that are like plaguing the planet? Like if you'll notice in the cover where he's holding the flag, like he's got like he's got a shield on his face. Like they can't breathe the oxygen outside. So like that again, that's why the city is kind of holed up in a dome. Arc City is what is that all about? Like obviously 232 can breathe. What is that about? What are those creatures there that he's standing on top? I mean, I'm going to explore all this in 2 and 3. But to answer your question, I do see like a 3 or 4 issue arc, but the way Inglorious Rex is structured, there's actually a whole prequel. Like if I wanted to ever do, that would actually be more about Nate. And kind of, like I have things written about like their mother, which they don't really talk about in the book at all. His dad corners Alex in the fight, Ronnie. And if you read Ronnie, actually, you kind of get introduced to him more in the supplemental story that Nerium drew. But because he's looked at as like a type of trainer that trains Rex fighters, period. Like, that's his thing. Like Nate's like a star. Alex is just a little brother that's hanging around the gym. And we explored that a little bit when the promoter for the alleyway fights actually tries to get Anatomic into that gym because he wants her to progress in life. And, he can't do anything with her anymore. And she has promise. So, there's a whole area that I'm skipping on purpose, like the relationship between Anatomic and Nate, started when they were training and they were watching Nate be a Rex pilot. But there's, obviously when Nate dies, Alex takes, an oath not to ever become a Rex pilot. His dad quits training. His dad's like, Nate. And Nate's just a fighter, and Ronnie, his dad, is just taking care of 232. And that to me, it was like kind of like, I don't know, like racehorses in a weird way. I don't know, like in Australia, if you guys have racehorses,
we have one of the biggest racing races in the world. Shane.
I don't know if you guys race kangaroos. I don't know what you guys race. You got all weird animals, kangaroos.
No, we race thoroughbreds. They come from all over the world. It's one of the biggest prizes.
I'm sorry. I grew up.
You've insulted my Australia. We actually have a day off.
I grew up with horses, and there is a specific saddle that's called an Australian saddle. That's really
Well,
weird.
see, I don't know that. I actually
Yeah.
I don't know anything about.
So I kind of knew you guys had horses, but we do have a saddle, at least in the States. We call it an Australian saddle. It doesn't have like that I don't know, the handle that's in the front. I don't know.
We have wild horses here. They're called Brumbies, and there's a famous movie and story, The Man from Snowy River, that I made Mel watch. She didn't really get down with the Australiana of it. I got a Bogan chat here from Dojo. He says Incendiary, 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. That must be after this show on Dojo Coon Comics channel, and be sure to back Projectile Reptile. Help make it happen for Dojo Coon.
Yeah. Hang on, the saddle horn, that's what it's called. An Australian saddle actually sits up weird, and
human horn.
The saddle horn. No, well, it's like a handle where your crotch is. I don't know. You grab on when you're getting up, like it's really weird. It's like a handle that when you mount a horse, you grab on to help lift yourself up and throw your leg over. It doesn't matter. We're getting off.
I'll take your word for it.
All right, take my word for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rex is
a
lot of
incredible number. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, Rexes in a lot of ways are like racehorses, and imagine 232 is kind of like this retired racehorse that can't race anymore, but they're trying not to put him down, and that's kind of the gist. Is this is like I always wanted this to be a comeback story, like an underdog story type thing. So I always wanted this down on their luck retired fighter gets one more fight type thing. By also going forward in book 2 and 3, that's the problem, is like Alex really doesn't have a good control over 232. 232 has to defend the city, and like he thought about he's a young man that chose his past over his future. Like he had a good relationship, he threw that away by winning that fight, and now he's a defender of the city, and he's on a crash course to have to fight Anatomic, and their relationship obviously is over. So like to me that was always an interesting concept I wanted to explore in the book. Buy my book.
Buy the book. Yeah, and you've got a ton of incredible covers to go with here. Here's the reprint of the first edition. Here's the supplemental Blood, Sweat, and Tears Volume 2. Who's attached on this one? Because last time you had Shelby and you had Kate as well. Are they coming back? I see Shelby.
Shelby.
Undisclosed.
Shelby is actually writing, or I'm sorry, not writing, but drawing. I've already written it, and he's working on layouts and working on now like an Anatomic story, which is again, a lot of people got Shelby's artwork in Volume 1. This time, the Anatomic story is going to be her actually lacing up with Razor for the first time. And it's going to be an interesting story because it's like her, it's going to be kind of like an astral battle where it's like a mental battle, like where they're fighting one another. She's actually fighting her Rex for control of dominance of their neural system linking up. So it's going to be very abstract.
Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Because in the first book, again, I know I see you guys are going, hey, spoilers. Well, we're trying to sell the second book here.
Mm-hmm.
In the first book, there's an issue with he's not really responding, and you wonder is he autonomous at one point? And there's a whole big thing going on there with that. So I'm guessing that's sort of a thing.
Yeah, basically when a pilot laces up with Rex. I don't know if I have an image. If you go to updates, there's actually an image of 232 as an art update. And you can see the embryo of 232. It'll be the second or third update. There you go. So when a Rex is
Look at that cute fella.
He's very cute. But when a Rex is cloned, the pilot does have to link up his neural system, and if they won't take, one could kill the pilot. And this is a privilege of the city to be a Rex pilot, because you are going to be a savior. This is your chance to be a superhero, pretty much. And
how big is that? How big is that embryo?
I have another page. It's about the size of I would say as Nate from head to toe, but a lot heavier because the head is so big and stuff. But it's probably curled up about probably 7 foot 8 foot or something like that.
We also have a Bogan chat here from Hyper Wizard who asks, Shane, do all the Rexes end up fighting on the moon in the final issue?
No, they're not on the moon.
Ask that. But people want inquiring minds want to know.
It is funny how they get thrown out into the city though, as they kind of get shot out of a cannon. It's funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because when the whole of Arc City's being attacked, the whole point of throwing Rexes out is just like the pigeon scene in the end is.
I appreciated the pigeon.
Pull out pigeon, yeah. They attack anything that's living. So the second that they throw Rexes out, whatever's on the hull and attacking the city, they divert to the Rexes that have been shot out. And so the Rexes are kind of like bait to get them off the hull. But and then of course the Rexes have to do like what you guys do in Australia was a big motivation here. I don't know if you know this, Alex. Or I'm sorry, Alex, Michael. Alex is a character. Anyway, sorry. I don't know if you know this, Michael, but I remember in school I had this National Geographic magazine where it showed you guys culling kangaroos. And they're like laced up on trucks, and there's all these hunters with guns, and you guys are just tying these things to the sides of trucks, and you guys are just... And that National Geographic haunted me, and that's a big inspiration for what the Rexes are doing. They're going out.
They're just another animal that needs culling. I mean, just because they're big.
Yeah. So that's basically what the Rexes do is they kind of go out and they do a culling of these creatures that are kind of making an extinction event on human life. And it's weird because as much as Little T's a bad guy, Little T's actually, and he's manipulating these fighters and he's genetically engineering these Rexes. He's as evil as he is, he's actually providing a service for the city.
He's just making good out of a bad situation. He's making the most out of it.
Well, he's what do you call? There's a term for that. And if we weren't talking about it, I would remember it. It's where you're doing that on purpose for profit. You're not monetizing, but
weaponizing.
Not weaponizing, but
don't ask me. My brain. I lose about 40% of my vocabulary when I go live as well. Snuggy says it's pragmatic. I don't know. We'll get it at some point. I just wanted to point out that there's loads of cool covers on here. This incredible Dal Keown cover. You've got Shane cover. You've got the this is the 24-hour cover. So I don't know if there's any more hours left that you're going to be.
I may drop some on the closeout, but right now, even if you back the box, you get that. Yes. Also, like in the box, and I have a couple of them. We did do a mini figure. I usually have a video I can show, but this is the size of it. And again, like we had it printed out at 2 different sizes, and this is it painted, of course. So we went for the bigger one. The bigger one is the one people are getting in their box. If you guys don't want the energy effects on the fist, you don't have to put them on. I do have like a prototype that we've already made. So you can see, like, I have the pieces here. And they'll have like a sheet, but like that's the legs,
So they come and you got to like assemble it.
Yeah, just like any other mini. Like these are the bolts. Like you'll have to cut them off. If you don't want energy fist, you don't have to have it. Of course, the base, highly detailed. It's gonna have like the logo on it. So right. peg holes are there. This is torso, so you can kind of see like the ports where you connect arms. His head's actually off, like it's a separate piece, because we wanted to make sure people could get in and paint his teeth on the inside. Like that's the top of his head. So it's very articulate. Like if you can see, I don't know if it'll show.
Yeah,
a lot of detail.
Very detailed.
Yeah, so you can get in there and paint like the inside of his mouth and all this if you're into those. But that's exclusive to the box. The Dale Keown black and white cover is exclusive to the box, and the lenticular fight print. It's like the verses that animation that was at top. That's actually going to be like a little fight poster that's in the box exclusive. So the box is actually a great deal, especially with the Dale Keown black and white cover that's virgin. I mean, I've seen a lot of people sell the books for a lot more on eBay, so probably just that one cover, you'll be able to make a big portion of that back if you don't want it. You know, it's probably the best savings is to get that because you get a lot of extra stuff in it. You know,
Lloyd Burton agrees. The box is the best to get. So yeah, there you go. Shane Davis, Inglorious Rex, Volume 2. Let me do a refresh on here because I think we did pick up some backers. A couple backers. That's awesome. I love to see that. Like, you know, Shane streams to like a lot of people, a lot, you know, more often than I can provide. So it's fantastic to see you guys in the chat turning out and supporting Shane. Also, as well, I mean, I'm sure you all are, but make sure that you are subscribed to Shane's YouTube channel. I mean, if you're not, you won't know what you won't know about Bro Dogs.
You won't know about Bro Dogs.
Look at these. There's hours of entertainment to be found over there on Shane's channel, and also plus daily videos. He covers like a lot of comic book stuff, pop culture, all that sort of good stuff.
Yeah, we try to do them daily, but sometimes like there's some things I just don't want to talk about. Like there's like it's like it has to be something that I'm interested in. Like I don't want to go in there and talk about.
I did the same thing for a month as a test, and I was like, "There's no way I could keep this up every day and still find something that I'm actually interested in talking about." Let alone some people do like 3 videos a day. I don't know.
Yeah, Jeremy the Quartering has talked. If you watch his channel, which I used to, I don't anymore, but that guy would talk about anything and everything 3 times a day, 5 times a day sometimes. I mean, like.
He wasn't drawing a comic at the same time, so
well, a lot of those guys too, and I'm not throwing shade, but they actually hire people to do a lot of that groundwork for them, come up with the articles and stuff. So I'm not sure if he's really dialed into all that stuff, or the guy just like, hey, this is a thing you could talk about for 5 minutes. Like, I mean, that's a lot of work on its own, but
maybe I could get Mel onto that, and I could just all I have to do is turn the camera on and read. She's got nothing else to do. Yeah. All right, we are going to leave it there. I want to thank Shane for coming on. That was an awesome discussion, man. Super impressed, but with the book on all fronts. I'm going to go back. I'm going to like look at the art again, like because I read it this time, so I was sort of going through it at the normal pace. Now I want to go back and check out the art. I really, really am impressed with how you did your backgrounds and the faces. And I'm coming up to a part in my book where I'm going to be doing a fight scene. So I'll also be checking out how you handle the pacing of that as well. So I'm just super impressed.
The pacing in that fight, though, is different than any other thing because I was literally having to draw like a sport event. Like, so
it's a bit different.
The fighting's going to be completely different in Inglorious Rex too. Like I was having to do the timing of rounds throughout it. So I've drawn a lot of fight scenes in comics for 20 some years at Marvel and DC, mainly DC. I don't know if I've ever drawn anything like that. So like that's a bad example is what I'm saying. Unless you're doing like rounds in a fight, don't look at that.
I won't, I promise. It looks like Ethan is streaming as well, so you can all go head over there. All right, thank you, Shane. The biggest thank you of all goes out to the wonderful, amazing, incredible, spectacular, and always phenomenal, sexiest chat and all CG. I will see you guys later. Bye.
Individually, we are weak like a single twig, but as a bundle, we form a mighty